This quick video will let you know what's new in today's release. 4.269 is the new version, and there's been a few changes in the software. One, we have the FX Build a Trend script now works with the synthetic single currencies, so you can create a currency meter using it with whatever settings you want. It also works on range bar synthetic, single currency like the dollar by itself, yen by itself, and so forth. And I've also created one with the settings that I'm using that I feel is the best. So you would just hit the load button here, and then click under chart examples. And what's new in this release, there's a new 5-minute chart, there's a new sample range chart, and there's also the new FX Build a Trend range bar currency meter. And when you open this, you click on it. I have it set to go all the way to the top, but I will drag this down so you can see. It's using 2 days worth of data. It has a 6 pips per bar range chart, and as you can see on here, it uses the FX Build a Trend Histogram with the following settings. You can adjust these if you would like, but the leftmost part is the percentage makeup of each tool. So this one gets 15% weight, this one's 15, 10, 15, 15, and 30. They have to add up to 100, and as you can see, it only works live. There's no way to get these to line up properly on past bars, so it only works live, and therefore that's what you're going to get. It also has the pivot score daily, weekly, and monthly underneath there. Let me just show you what it looked like today from today's class. This is what I left it running overnight, and it's just absolutely amazing what it can do. You can clearly see how weak the dollar is all day, how strong the pound is. So you want to buy the pound versus the dollar and the yen. Notice straight up, tons of pips here. Pound yen earlier today. Let's scroll back. Straight up, and using our regular range charts with the FX Build a Trend stop, and of course the FX Build a Trend histogram on the bottom. It's just very easy to trade. This is one of the 2 strongest currencies. You buy it, it goes up from 70 to 40. Nice 70 pip move, pullback, another 70 pip move, 140 pips right there. Now remember, as you can see, it only works live. There's no way to showcase it on the past. You can also see the CAD was incredibly strong, the euro became weak, and so you could have traded the euro against the CAD. You don't want to sell the euro CAD in that instance. You can see here the euro CAD, especially after 8, you're looking for a sell. It's right near the lows. It goes sideways for half an hour. This is our sideways rectangle pattern sell. It breaks down right here at 30. Let's just run up a pip to 30.70 and falls all the way to, it falls 110 pips. The new Build Your Own Trend currency meter using range bars, because it's used on range bars tend to close at the high or low of the bar, so it tends to show peak value, and if the market's dead and each range bar is 10-minute bar or 20-minute bar, you don't have too many. If news comes out and the market shoots up 100 pips and goes up 20 bars in a row, you're going to get a lot of bars. So this is going to give you a ton of granularity that our old currency meter, which was based on a 5-minute chart, each of these shows a 5-minute bar, what the strength or weakness was during that 5 minute. I believe this is going to be vastly superior. I've traded with it yesterday and today. I love it. This is pretty much all I'm going to use. I might have another currency meter up. The only drawback of this is that when you first bring it up, it doesn't put anything on past bars because it's impossible to do that accurately. So, we don't do that. The other new feature in the software, if you click load and click on 5-minute chart, this is our sample 5-minute chart, and one of the new features, or I should say an enhancement, is for the pivots right here, pivots daily. If you put a minus in front of the display width, it's going to display what the daily pivots are in this case on the left hand side of the chart. That way it doesn't clutter. Like for instance, if I want to have the daily pivots on here, there's already a lot of support resistance areas and I didn't put the minus in front of there. It's going to showcase it on the right hand side, which adds more lines. Most of us look more towards the right of the chart when we're trading. There's just more stuff to look at, more to be confused by. By putting a minus in front of that now, it puts it on your chart, but it's usually out of your way. You can look over there and see where the daily pivots are. The main one is the white pivot. When it's above there, it tends to go up. When it's below there, it tends to go down. And you can see that's exactly what found the support today. When price, let's zoom in a lot. When price came down to that pivot level today, you can see it went only a few pips underneath it and then went up. Notice this monthly, or I should say daily midpoint right here. When the market came up, that was resistance. It had a hard time getting above it the first time. So it's wonderful to know, if you've watched our latest scalping videos, you've seen how I've used the daily pivots in the scalping videos. When you have so much stuff on your chart, previous days high and low, previous weeks high and low, previous months high and low, weekly pivots, monthly pivots, Fibonacci areas, containment bands, there's just so much stuff to look at. It's critical to know where these levels are, but you also want it out of sight most of the time. So as you're watching it right now, you know that 3140 is that resistance area. It's right here. And above that we have a weekly pivot. Above that we have the previous day's high. And above that we have our Fibonacci retracement levels that I do each night, spend 30 or 40 minutes every night so you don't have to. And so that's what that new feature is. I've added it to the sample 5-minute chart and also to the sample range chart. As you will see right now as I bring this up, this is our range chart, and you can see I have the daily pivots over there now. So you can put that minus sign in front of the daily pivots, weekly pivots, and monthly pivots, and instead of drawing the line from right to left as a certain percentage of your screen, it draws it on the left side going right. So to recap, what's new in this script is a new currency meter, which uses the build your own trend. I got that to work with the synthetic symbols like the dollar by itself, the yen by itself, the euro. I also got it to work properly on range charts, which I feel when the market's really moving around a lot, you have more bars, and when it's dead, you have very few bars. So it gives you a very good view that the dollar fell for a very long time, very meager up move. That weakness is likely to continue, and it does for an hour. Very meager counter trend move, and then the trend continues down again, but it has less momentum this time. It's just very obvious, using this. It's much improved over our older currency meter for many reasons. One, you can set those settings to whatever fits your style 100%. You can test 50 or 100 or 300 settings over a period of weeks and find ones that most suit you, and it also can be put on a range chart.